Welcome back to another Murph Plays Super Metroid on the Nintendo Switch online service. I'm Murph Strange. This is Super Metroid. Sorry for the late start today, ladies and gentlemen. I was on a phone call with a good friend of mine. You know her as Crazy Moth Lady from the chat. Just getting caught up. Hadn't talked to her in a while. Wanted to see what she was up to. Turns out life's going good. Life is going good for her. And couldn't be happier for her. She is she's someone who deserves it, you know? Deserves a lot of good things. Alright, so we got no sound. Let's try that. No? I bet it's that. There it is. Now we have sound. I am not very good at this space jump thing. Okay, so we have so much done and yet still so much to do. We have to find 5 more energy tanks. We have to find the screw attack. And then we have to find and kill Ridley. I don't know if we're going to do all of that today. Probably not, because I don't know the first place to even get started. I do have the guide. I could consult it. But like, when has that ever done anything for us? Okay, so it's done a lot for us. Like, I'm not even sure where the next place we want to go is. Where are we? Let's go to Brand Star. I don't know if we need to go to Brand Star. Oh. There it is. I don't know if this is the right direction, but it doesn't seem like it's the wrong or most wrong direction we could be going in. I also feel like maybe we could explore Meridia a little more. Well, hey, Knitting Link, welcome to the chat. I am doing quite well, thank you. How about yourself? Weird week. Pizza on a Thursday. That is weird. So if y'all are having pizza today, what do you plan on having tomorrow? I normally have pizza on Mondays. Stop being eaten by things, Samus. Also, she is invisible on the screen. She looking invisible to you guys? Because that seems like a problem to me. Why does that not... We'll see if that fixes it. She still goes invisible. I've tried changing the frame rate because I was pretty sure it's a frame rate issue, because when you get hit, you flicker for a bit. You know, to show that you got hit. But like Samus straight up just turns invisible. It's a good thing I'm not using OBS as my my monitor play on, because boy, I would not be able to play that way. Because right now she's invisible, but she's in the plant. Hard to tell, I know. And I'm in the other plant. See, I thought I had found a solution to that whole flickering problem, but it does not seem to have stayed resolved. See, that's what I was thinking with the whole frame rate thing. Like, the timing sequence would be off, and like it's only drawing the frames where she's not visible. But OBS is set to 60 frames, and Like, I've tried changing the frame rate on the capture card. And I've tried changing the frame rate on the Switch, but no, see, even there. Like, if I set it to match, she disappears. If I set it to being close but slightly off, like, instead of 60, I put it at, like, 59. No, she still disappears. I set it at 48. She still disappears. Like, there's no frame rate in which she doesn't just vanish. It's weird. Oh, there she didn't disappear. Okay. Now she doesn't disappear. Now she disappeared. Well. Damn it, Samus. Can't you just stay visible? Yeah, I got nothing either. And, like, I put some thought into, you know, into the solution here, and I got nothing. It's been an ongoing issue. Oh well, this seems to be the only game that's affected by that so far. Because I didn't notice it when we were playing the GameCube game. At least I don't think I noticed it then. It only seems to have been an issue for this game. I don't think this is the way that I want to go. No, because that's where the morph ball was. Like, everything else still works. It's just every once in a while, when Samus gets hit, she turns invisible. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. There's got to be more to this, right? Yeah, okay, there is. I have discovered a thing. Yay! I mean, it's still not as bad as playing Other M, so I really can't complain. Fry, bad guys. Okay, it's gonna be one of those speed boosty things. Alright, alright. Charge! Energy tank! Alright, only 4 left to find. Let's see. That seems to be the vast majority of stuff in Brinstar. I mean, there's probably some missile upgrades or something somewhere that I'm forgetting, but I've got like 150 missiles. Why do I need to worry about missiles? Seems excessive. I haven't seen him yet. He did seem like a nice guy. But I don't know if he just tunes in for the games or what. So, like, today would be the first day playing this again. Or did he tune in for a little bit for the code session? I don't recall. I think he might have. I think he might have for a little bit for the JavaScript. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look. I know Ube tuned in for that one. He did a bit of a lurking. Much appreciates. We had a pretty good session on the JavaScript. I didn't cover everything that I wanted to cover, but we did cover quite a bit of stuff. And I want to find like more than anything, I would love to find some illustrators or musicians or some people who would like to work with me on a video game. Because sadly, I can't draw for crap. I have a severe lack of artistic ability. But I do have an idea for some games I would love to be able to make if I could just get them drawn and scored. Because, in my opinion, if you're making a game, your game requires a good story, good art, good music, and or sound effects. Like, all the best games, they hit that trifecta. Now, I'm not saying you have to have top-of-the-line graphics, you just have to have a good art style. Consistent. Visuals that really capture the imagination and keep people coming back for it. Eye candy, you know? But even that can be ruined if you don't have good sound. You know, if you ain't got good music, like, it's just gonna drive people nuts. We've all played those Nintendo games that have the theme song that just is super repetitive and gets old really fast. And it gets stuck in your head, drives you nuts. We've all played those. If a song is terrible enough, it will keep you from wanting to replay the game. Or even keep you from finishing the game. Now, when it comes to the story for a good game, I have ideas. I have ideas that I've been kicking around for a while now that I'd really love to explore further. As far as the means to code it. Yeah, Bubble Bobble's a good one. As far as having the means to code, the game. I can do that. Like, there is nothing in JavaScript that comes as a struggle. As far as, you know, being able to do the, you know, the sprite animation, the music. I could pretty much make any game that I wanted to. Or the ones I'm thinking of anyway. I mean, I ain't talking like doing, you know, some AAA first-person shooter type title in JavaScript. That's, you know, that'd be insane. I gotta duck here in order to get that to work, don't I? There we go. There we go. But, if I want to do something like this, you know, Super Nintendo level graphics with a decent soundtrack, like, that would be right up my alley. Because one of the games I've been kicking around is a fantasy adventure RPG sort of dungeon crawler, but it turns everything on its head. Sure, you can choose to be, you know, some adventurer going into a dungeon and, you know, fighting monsters, getting loot, completing quests. Or you can be an NPC essentially, and you can be a merchant, and you can sell stuff to, you know, the adventurers who are going on those quests. You can hire mercenaries to protect your shipments and stuff. And there'll be a whole logistics component, a whole, you know, being able to do the marketing and whatnot for your store. Like, you know how what game is it I'm thinking of? Elder Scrolls. They have like a guild trader, which is essentially an auction house for every guild. Well, forget that being a guild exclusive kind of thing. and more of an individual, inclusive kind of thing. Like everyone who chooses that route for their character, like they have the ability to start a store. They have the ability to, to make their money selling armor and weapons. Or, potions and food and whatnot. But it's not just, oh, you have a store. You sell stuff. No, you also have to manage, like, shipments of goods. You have to order them from other towns, protect those shipments, and ensure that they get to the stores. You do that by hiring, either other players who can act as bodyguards. Basically, little private security detail for your shipment. Or, you can hire like AI controlled NPCs to handle that as well. I mean, they probably won't be as good as player controlled, but, cheaper. Or you can attempt to do those shipments without protection and risk being attacked by bandits. And that's just one aspect of it. Like, it's going to have other very strange elements to it. Like, will there be human beings? Yes. Humans will be a race that you can play in. But, because it's a fantasy world, humans are going to play as something so comically weird that it almost seems like an insult to human beings until you realize that only human beings are playing this game. So, but one of the things I wanted to do was, like, one of the races is actually just, a pile of goblins. Like, you're not playing as a single goblin. You're playing as, like, 3 goblins posing as a single person. So you have, like, the stacked in a trench coat sort of thing going on, but you're really 3 goblins. Like I said, I want this game to be just off the wall. Just completely not what anyone would expect. And to that end, like, the main objective is actually, unexpectedly, a stupid little side quest that you can do in, like, 10 minutes. Takes no time at all. But there's going to be no indication that that's how you essentially win the game. All of the other stuff that's going to be in it, all the dungeons, all of the trading and whatnot, 100% extra. Just there for the fun of it. Something you can do, but you don't have to. But I do intend to try to make it as fun and lighthearted as humanly possible. And to that end, it's basically what I can accomplish with, like, 32-bit style graphics. And I need the grapple hook. That's why I keep falling there. There I need to shoot the grappling hook. Come on, Samus. What? Okay, now you're just doing this on purpose. There we go. Now, another idea I had for a game is sort of a space adventure sort of game. But I was kind of hoping to go for like a 1950s, 60s, early sci-fi kind of feel. But like you would have full ships, entire crews manning them. You could have individual smaller spacecraft like scout ships, little cruisers, you know, shuttles that can take you from like your big battleships down to the planets for exploration. And there would be an element of on the ground exploration of, you know, different planets and stuff as well. Not nearly as wild and crazy as the ridiculous fantasy adventure game that I'd like to put together, but nonetheless, still pretty cool. Or at least it would be if I could ever get started. So, I don't know, it's an idea I'm kicking around. At some point, I hope to make some progress on that someday. Get one or both of those done. Meantime, I just make silly little games in my web browser. Let's see here. I need to go through there, over to there. I feel like this is going to lead us to a dead end. Never remember which one it is. One of these leads through. Pretty sure. Aha! I have found it. But yeah, I remember this one game that I played very briefly. I cannot remember the name of the game, but it did inspire a lot of the elements of the space game that I want to make. Because in the game itself, the one that I played, was almost entirely text-based. Like, it would tell you, like, the status of things, and then you would decide what your actions were. There was no pictures or anything. It was just read and choose some options. But you could buy... you could buy different classes of ships. You would go to different planets and buy, like, different kinds of resources and products that you would take to other planets and then try to sell them for a profit. And if you encountered other ships, you could fight. You could fire torpedoes at them. You could, have full-on brawls with other space fleets. Oh, y'all just missed me by a few seconds last time, huh? It happens. I mean, I expect people to have lives, I don't expect people to be able to tune in to every one of my sessions. I don't know that y'all really missed a whole lot either, though. So. But yeah, that game that I played, I wish I could remember the name of it. I wish I could find a copy of it. Like, what I remember of it is, in order to do the online multiplayer aspect of it, because it was one of those very early online multiplayer games, but it was like a Usenet board kind of game. Like, you had to have a very particular setup for it to work. It was a PC game. It was a very different kind of PC game, though, because, like I said, there were no graphics. It was entirely text-based. Because it was a very, very old game, even when I played it. But, it was a pretty cool game, though. It had a lot of elements of things that you would see in later games, like y'all remember the game Big Mother Truckers, where you were a truck driver, you'd have to pick up a load in one part of the country, drive it to another part of the country before the time ran out. Well, it kind of worked like that. And depending upon where where you would take your cargo to, like, you could sell your cargo anywhere, but the goal was to sell your cargo at places where the demand was higher. So like I do remember that being a huge part of the game. You'd go to spaceports, you'd talk to merchants. You could negotiate prices. Like they'd make an offer and you could haggle with them. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty sophisticated game for the time, I always felt. I just wish I could remember what the heck it was called. It's like Space Trader or something. Well, one of the things I always found to be quite fascinating with this game was it had a very sophisticated like ship classification structure. And I always felt like maybe Trade Wars. Does that take place in space? And have, like, no graphics and all text? Because if it does, it's probably the game. Hey, killed that guy. Last time I was here, I could not kill him. He's dead now, though. But yeah, I liked a lot of the aspects of that game, and I thought, you know, with a new coat of paint on it, you know, something with like maybe some Stardew Valley level graphics and whatnot, it would be an impressive little undertaking. Okay, I don't know what this guy's deal is, but see if super missile affects him. Nope, super missile is not the chick. Not the trick. Energy tank. Am I supposed to defeat this turtle, or what? I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with that at this point. Oh well. See, I think I have checked out those Wikipedia pages, and I could never really confirm if that's what I had played or not. Because without finding a copy and actually, like, playing it for myself, it is kind of hard to tell. Because, like, there's no graphics, you know? It does fit the description, I think. So it's at least as good a guess as any. But, like, you ever play Stardew Valley? The graphics on that game, they're not bad. They're like Super Nintendo level. But it's a very, you know, oh, that did not work. All right, so you've seen it. It's along the lines of like I'm trying to think what the closest thing to it is. Like Harvest Moon. Very laid back kind of game. But Super Nintendo sort of style graphics. One thing I always thought would be kind of cool. Oh, I missed. That was a good attempt, though. Taking that same sort of graphic style. Maybe not the exact same, but a very similar graphic style. And applying it to a game like that space trading game with the sophisticated, you know, ship classification systems and whatnot, but also the option to make it multiplayer, where you could have an entire crew. And you could run like a, you know, a Star Trek sort of level of like a starship, you know? Like a real Enterprise level starship. With your buddies, if you wanted. Or, if you were more inclined, you know, become space pirates. Aha! I knew there was a trick here. Anyone ever told you you have a lot of ideas? Yes. I hear that a lot. The one problem I have with all of these ideas is I don't often have a way to get them realized. But I sure would like to. Because I think they would be great. I really do. And executed properly? Oh, man. Because you can't tell me that the whole, like, Super Nintendo Zelda-ish style in a space adventure game that's multiplayer, where you can get into space battles with other squads, wouldn't be fun. I mean, come on. Of course it'd be fun. Problem is being able to realize something on a scale like that. It's not a single person endeavor, but I am but a single person. Like, I would not be able to do it myself. I could do the coding for a lot of it, but draw it in an art style that anyone's going to be able to understand? No, I can't do that. I don't have that level of skill. I fully acknowledge that's my limitation. I also have no musical talent. So we're looking at not being able to score the game either. So a game where there's no music, no graphics, well then I'm just basically ripping off that game that I played way back in the day. You know? And I don't want to just rip off a game that I played way back in the day. I want to make, you know, something good. Like that, you know, Super Nintendo style space adventure game that I have in my head. And not just, you know, a clone of that text-based game that I once played. Well, yeah, and see, that's the thing. I'm not looking to make, like, you know, the next Elite Dangerous, you know? I'm not looking to make, you know, something with, you know, Unreal Engine or anything. I just want to make, you know, simple style games. But give them enough complex nature that you're not getting bored of them right away, you know? You can play it for hours. Oh, I still missed. Oh no, don't fall down there. Dang it. That's no. Go back up. Well, yeah, it doesn't take graphics to make a great game. It takes style to make a game visually appealing. which is why, you know, something like Minecraft actually does survive with that old Nintendo 64 very blocky, no pun intended, look to it. It's because they have that. Oh, I missed again. They have style. The style is the block. The style is those very old school textures. And Stardew Valley, reason why that was so successful is because it's a very mellow game and it has that nostalgic feel to it. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. That's not what I wanted to do at all. And on top of it, you have the music, you know? We can't ignore the music. Music's a very important element in a game. People still talk about the soundtrack for this game. And then I did it again. I gotta stop doing that. Okay. There we go. I didn't duck fast enough. Now, there are some games that look like absolute trash. Like, absolutely look like trash. Couldn't be bothered with the fact that they didn't have an art department. Oh, missed again. Just barely. I'm gonna get that missile upgrade. I can do it. I know I can. If I don't run out of super missiles in the attempt. There we go. Oh, I still missed. I was close, though. Because I gotta jump right here. I just caught the lip of that ledge. Now, one of these days, I hope I manage to find some talented people who I can pay if I can't persuade them to join me on this endeavor of their own. Just, you know, be able to pay them. Oh, I still caught the lip of that thing. I'm over just a tad too far. The visual cue for the Shine Spark. Well, it's not the Shine Spark that's giving me trouble here. It's the, it's the lining up my jump, I think. Oh, I didn't hit down fast enough. Like, I want to duck down to store the Shine Spark between that gate and the door. And then I want to run through the door, drop down, and then at that one plant, jump straight up. But I keep not lining it up properly. Like, see there? I got too eager. I didn't take a moment to line that up like I should have. But I'm worried if I take too long, I'm going to lose the Shine Spark. Which is just as awful as not lining it up properly. Okay, here we go. Oh, lost it. I don't think I was over far enough either. I'll get it eventually. I just, I gotta hit my mark, that's all. I didn't duck in time. It's right there. Oh! I was close, too. I was really close. Because it is... right there. And if I drop... right here... it's this plant that I have to be lined up with. And I just, boom, straight up from right there. And I should get it. It's just being able to hit that mark and not losing Shine Spark before I do. Hopefully we got it this time. Oh, too far. Too far. Just a step too far. It's a very narrow, though. It's a very narrow opening that I have to be able to jump up through because it is exactly one Samus wide. And yes, we're going to start measuring things in Samuses now because I'm an American and we'll do anything to avoid the metric system. Oh, lost it. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jump! Oh, not over far enough. Yeah, no, I should have gone one more step. How many centimeters wide is one Samus? I'm not sure, but I do know she's quite tall. Despite the impression we get of her in Metroid Other M, she is like 200 pounds and nearly 7 feet tall. Like, she's a big woman. Might be like, how do you know that? Because this information is on the internet. I don't know why it's on the internet, but it's on the internet. She is... she's really tall. Ah, I didn't do it. We can talk about Other M. We can't play it anymore because no thank you. But we could talk about it because it's terrible. And people should be warned. And you can't warn people without talking about it. Please don't. Please don't talk about it or warn people. Because we've already played it. We got through it. It was an experience, that's for sure. It's probably the nicest way I could put that. But, like, they could have done so much better. They really could have. Like, fixed the localization, for one thing. Like, I don't know whose sloppy supervision allowed that to happen, but, like, that could have been dealt with. Also, the whole making Samus, like, super PTSD prone. Oh yeah, there we go. We did it! Got it! But, oh man. It was atrocious. They made her seem small and feeble, and, like, her relationship with Adam got really weird. Like, really, really weird. I can understand the desire to give more backstory. But that's just not how you do it. I'm sorry. It's just not. They took what made Samus great and, like, stripped all that away. Because she's a badass bounty hunter. That's what she is. And that's why we respect her. That's why we want to play as her. And then in Other M, that's not who she is at all. Like, that's... She's whiny. She is so melodramatic. I almost feel like the entire story of Other M was written by some emo teen who was just trying to make some, like, Metroid fan fiction or something. Wow, that was terrible. And the development team did not make it any better. They gave us really buggy controls and whatnot. It was not a good experience. How about we stop wasting missiles on these guys? There we go. That makes more sense. I mean, there was things that could have been done to save that game. And I feel like if someone had actually took a real solid look at it before it went out to the general public, they could have caught some of those mistakes. But someone dropped the ball, and that's the game we got. And I do feel bad because it's a dark blemish on the Metroid franchise in an otherwise great franchise. Oh, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Samus has depth to her character that does deserve to be explored. Like, for one thing, she's been tasked with the genocide of an entire species. Okay? Her entire family was wiped out. So she's an orphan. She's probably also had some glass ceiling moments in her career. I'm sure of it. But whatever the hell they were going for in Other M, it didn't translate. It didn't translate into anything anybody really ought to be playing. It was a hot mess and super goddamn weird. Is there any reason to go that way? I don't think so. I feel like we've gotten everything here. Let's try to make our way to Norfair. But like I said, there are ways they could have fixed Other M. For one, the buggy controls. The having to stop and aim with the Wii remote in order to shoot missiles. Get rid of that. Just get rid of that. And you already improve the game like 1,000-fold. And we haven't even talked about plot. We haven't even gotten to the part where, you know, they've completely destroyed her character and made the game just so cringe. Because they did. They did that. That was a thing they did. They didn't. They didn't. But the localization, whoever did the voice for the English release of it, no, fire that girl. Do not bring her back for anything. Pretend not to know her at parties and just be like, yeah, we don't talk about that. And then hire somebody who's actually got some kind of, like, I don't know, emotion? Or can convey it? Or fake it, I guess? Anything. Anything. At all. I feel like I've been here. Yes, I've been here. This ends in a dead end. There's nothing here. But, Yes, ignore her at parties. Are you kidding? Even the Resident Evil games had better voice acting. And I know exactly what you're talking about with the terrible voice acting, because yes, it was terrible. But in Other M, that was a whole nother level of bad. That was a whole nother bad. Their budget wasn't large enough to ignore her at parties? Or their budget wasn't large enough to get invited to parties? Because I'm not talking about them throwing their own parties, because God no, they didn't have the budget for that. Clearly. They would have hired somebody else to do the voice acting. But, you know, instead of someone who's just going to deadpan their every single line, you know, get someone who, you know, can make you feel compassion for the character. And now, on the plot issues, clean up the damn emo rom nonsense that was Samus and Adam's relationship. Okay? Like, I don't even know what sort of vibe I was supposed to get from that. But it definitely was creepy. Like, at times, it seemed like they were trying to portray that she was in love with him, that there was something more going on between them. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, if you want to give Samus a love story, fine, give her a love story. But, like, let's not make it so damn cringy, you know? Because if that was the intent, if she was supposed to be in love with Adam, making her emotionally distraught at, you know, her own, you know, defiance of, like, everything. Kind of an annoying way to go about it. I mean, there's angst, and then there's just, what the hell? And, that was a whole lot of what the hell. And also, feel free to tone down the whole motherhood analogies. I mean, having it rammed down our throats every 30 seconds. So annoying. We get it. It's a game about mothers. I mean, Metroid Other M, M-O-M, Mom, on the bottle ship, constantly talking about the baby, referring to the emergency signal from the bottle ship. their distress call as the baby's cry. Like, do you have to with everything? Like every damn thing? The whole mother-daughter relationship going on between the mother brain clone and the doctor. Like, feel free to tone any of that down, because believe me, we get it. Like, it doesn't have to be constant all the time. Like, could have spent so much of the time exploring those ideas, doing anything the hell else. Yeah, and it was very heavy-handed too. Like, so heavy-handed. They just... It felt like they didn't think people were going to get it. But no, we got it. Writers, we totally get it. And my issue isn't that that's what the theme of the plot was, it's that it was so all the time in your face. That's just everything. Like, we came for a space adventure, not a Hallmark movie. I don't know, maybe some people came for the Hallmark movie, but not me. I came for the space adventure. I must figure out where I'm supposed to go from here. But, yeah, like, other M could have been fixed. I genuinely believe that. Because at its core, it has some good elements to it. It's just the things that made it bad. Well, they made it really bad. Like, really, really bad. And it makes me sad. Because it could have been a really great game. A third-person 3D Metroid. It's never been done. They've done first-person. Can I do the space jump? There we go. And I wouldn't mind a game like that in this franchise. I'd be alright with it. But the whole having to aim at the screen to fire missiles, which basically makes you stationary and instant dead because you can't dodge when you're doing that. Like, that was a dumb idea. And it was a dumb idea meant to show off the Wii remotes. You know, oh, you can aim at the screen. Yeah, like you can in every other game. We get it. We don't need it in this one. And we especially don't need it executed in that manner, because that was awful. That made the boss fights terrible. They were frustrating in the worst kinds of ways because you knew exactly how you needed to do the fight. You just didn't know if you would be able to, given, you know, the restrictions of, you know, what they were doing to you. Let's see here. Now I need to go back the other way. There is nothing over here. And I'm no stranger to the frustration of a Metroid boss fight. It took me 2 entire sessions of streaming to beat Mother Brain the first time. In the first game. Like, I understand they have a thing for frustrating enemies. I'm okay with that. I can do that. That's fine. What I'm not going to be able to do, though, is when the frustration comes from the way in which the game is designed to be controlled. And the hindrance is in the controls themselves. Is there a way through here? Does not appear so. No, I went the wrong way. How do I get out of here now, though? Down, okay. In this game, so right you are, it would not be fair to dumpsters or fires. But like I said, there was enough of a game there that it makes me sad that they didn't release something better. Because it does have good elements. It's just buried in so much trash that it is really hard to get to those elements and enjoy them. Because the entire time you're trying to enjoy those elements, you're being hindered by, well, the rest of the game that they made. I feel like there's a way through here. There it is. Oh yeah, it didn't tank the whole franchise. Like, it would have taken some serious, awfulness to bring down the whole franchise. I'm glad that they saw the error of their ways and didn't make that the direction for the rest of the franchise. And it's just kind of a one-off. But we could have got something. We could have got something better if before release somebody had stopped and looked at what they had and just like put a little thought into it, you know? Tone down certain elements, emphasize other elements, get rid of the buggy controls because they were more hindrance than anything. Would have been fine. They could have saved the game. It wouldn't have been the best game in the Metroid franchise still, but, like, it would have salvaged it. It would have been not as bad. But, I don't know. The point at which they should have done that, somebody failed to do that. And we got what we got. Well, in a way, it could be argued, you know, Other M is the Game of Thrones Season 8 failure. But, I do wish that they had done something else with that game. You know, give us anything that isn't that. I'll be there for it. Okay, I feel like this is the way we came into here, which was a while ago, and I've been trying to find my way out, so we're finally on the right track, I think. There we go. I have been very pleased with Metroid Dread so far. I still haven't finished it. But, you know, been playing a whole bunch of other stuff in the meantime. But I gotta say, I've been quite pleased. I feel like, the story that they're telling with, the first one, Metroid 2, this one, Fusion. Like, it's It's a nice chapter in that story. Terrifying in a way, but like in a good way. I do have to finish Shred though. I really do. And I'm looking forward to it. Oh, definitely. There is always room for the 2D side scroller. When you look at like what titles have been absolute winners in the indie market, you will see a lot of Metroidvania games. And I'm sorry, who does Metroidvania better than Metroid? I mean, it's an entire genre named for Metroid and Castlevania. Like, if you can't release a successful 2D side-scrolling Metroid game, you've really screwed up. Like, if Other M had been a 2D side-scroller and still had all the problems and whatnot, that definitely would have killed the franchise. That would have killed the entire genre. Like, let's not do that, folks. We want to live today. Seriously? Come on, Samus. You got this. There we go. Oh yeah, they'll still be around, but like big studios can make those games too. Like they don't have to go to everything's open world, everything's 3D, everything's, you know, they ain't got to do that. There's still a market. And the reason that the indie game platform or the indie developers are able to do that is because of the vacuum that is being created by the bigger studios, forgetting that's a thing. That's a thing they were king at before they decided everything had to be an open world, online, multiplayer, like, visual extravaganza with the most realistic 3D everything. I would almost prefer some 2D side-scroller action over, like, disappointments like Cyberpunk 2077. You know, where it was super glitchy and whatnot. I know they've fixed it, and it is better, but it's also still locked into first person, which is super annoying given that they put all that work into the character creation. Like, what the hell? Why do that? Why do that to your fans? Why do that to the people who are going to spend all that time, you know, exploring that character creation only to realize that they get to see their character like 2 or 3 times the whole game? Why bother? Why they do that? There's no reason for it. I would rather see some 2D side-scroller action than have, like, a beautiful, amazing, open-world 3D adventure with super realistic, high-definition graphics that ends up being abandoned and they stop making content for it, like they did with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption Online. And I'm salty about that one. I will never not be salty about that. I feel like Rockstar had a good thing, and then they just completely walked away from it. Meanwhile, all the people who were absolutely enthralled by this amazing thing that they made, lured in with promises that, hey, it's going to be, you know, like their other big title, and given that level of love and support, and then it never does. Like, people were suckered into it. I would rather see more 2D side-scroller action than that. Because at least the 2D side-scroller stuff, you know, you can still add content to this if you wanted to. And it would probably be less development time, a lot easier to do. Whatever barriers there are that prevented Rockstar from being able to, you know, give Red Dead Redemption the focus it deserved. Like, I don't feel like that would be a problem if they had made just a simple side-scroller. Like a Metroidvania. Those kind of complications come with the big 3D open world sort of thing. Because those are complicated. Those are really complicated for development purposes. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to see any more big 3D ginormous open world adventure games at all. Because, well, that would be a lie. I do like those kinds of games. In fact, I'm very much looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2. And I'm actually grateful for the latest news on that Nintendo is delaying its release until at least spring of 2023. Now, I was looking forward to that game coming out this year, as was, well, everybody. But Nintendo made the judgment call. It wasn't ready. I trust Nintendo when they say something like that. Because if they're delaying it for development purposes, that can only mean that we're going to get a better game as a result. And that's not to say that the game is, is crap or anything. Or that it was gonna be crap. But if Nintendo wants to put more time into making sure that it is perfect, well, by all means, Nintendo, take all the time you want. It's a Legend of Zelda title, after all. And it's a sequel to one of the best. Like, I still don't know if I would say I like it better than Ocarina of Time or the very original, because nostalgia, you know. That first title, near and dear to my heart. One of the first games I actually ever completed all the way through. And to this day, it remains something that I play probably at least once a year. At least. And my recent stream of the first one has proven to me, if it hasn't proven to the people who have watched my stream of the first Breath of the Wild, there's a lot of content there. There's a lot. Like, it's got some staying power. Oh, Link to the Past was beautifully done. It added some elements to the game that, like, were great improvements. And arguments can be made that it is one of the better titles in the franchise. Is it the best? I can see how some people might think it is. To me, first one's always going to be the best. And then there's just something about Ocarina of Time. That's my number 2. The first one, the absolute original, that's the one I love the best. And then the Ocarina of Time is number 2. Breath of the Wild, I don't know. Top 5? Maybe? Yeah, I could confidently go with the top 5. Y'all gotta take off. Yeah, it's probably getting kind of late, isn't it? Yeah, it's almost time for me to make lunch. We have accomplished nothing this entire stream. I'm supposed to be hunting for Ridley, but like I have done nothing. I have done. I mean, I guess we picked up an energy tank or two. So, I can't say we haven't done anything. But as far as accomplishing goals, yeah, no, there was none of that. There was no goal accomplishing here. It's been a good stream though. You know? Good conversation. We'll probably still be playing this next week, Monday and Thursday, because we've still got a ways to go. We've got to kill Ridley. We got to track down Mother Brain. You know, the usual. Still 3 energy tanks out there somewhere in the world. I'm not worried about all the missile tanks and stuff. We still got to find the screw attack. That's still somewhere. We'll find it, though. I've narrowed down the regions we need to explore to Norfair. I think we have to go back to Norfair. That was the one that I was avoiding today, which is why we ended up everywhere else. But, seems like Norfair's where we're supposed to be headed, so that's where we'll be going next week. Let's see, Tuesday, hopefully a podcast episode with Zeph. We still have to do our episode on werewolves. We didn't do that this week either. I don't know. That might just become a once a month sort of thing. I don't know. But we will get around to recording that next episode because we've got at least 2 more episodes that we want to do for sure. We're avoiding planning further episodes than that because our backlog is already at 3 episodes we have yet to record. And like if we start tacking on more ideas, it just becomes this big long list of things we're never going to get to. And we don't want to do that. Let's see. Today's Thursday, so that means tomorrow is Friday, which means more Breath of the Wild. We've completed the compendium, so I don't know, probably just screw around and break stuff, you know? Play with the physics, see if we can duplicate some glitches. See what kind of trouble we can get into now that we've pretty much done everything. So, that should be fun. But yeah, I'm sure I'll see, Ube and Knitting Link in the chat for that. Y'all never miss a Breath of the Wild stream. It's always a fun time though. Yeah, good having you, the Crane Op. We'll catch you next time. Hope you all are having a great day. I know I am. And now I'm going to go get some lunch. We'll talk to y'all next time.